Hello, and welcome to Roly Poly Weight Loss. I'm your host, Roly Poly. Let's get started. Okay, welcome to day 6. We are at the end of week 2. Yay! Now, today, I want to talk to you about those dreaded 4 words. Warm up, cool down. I know. So today's topic has 2 parts. Do we really need to warm up and cool down? And 2, if so, how do we do it? So, part 1. Now, believe me, I know. You managed to squeeze 15 or 30 minutes into your day for your workout. And now you need an extra 10 or more to fit in a warm up and then a cool down? Madness! So, believe me, I know the excuse. Is it really that important? Well, unfortunately, yes. Yes, it is. It's kind of a big deal. So, if you don't believe me, take it from the Mayo Clinic, which says, warming up helps prepare your body for aerobic activity. A warm-up gradually revs up your cardiovascular system by raising your body temperature and increasing blood flow to your muscles. Warming up may also help reduce muscle soreness and lessen your risk of injury. I don't know about you, but I really would like to lessen my risk of injury. The American Heart Association is even more direct. Cardiologist Dr. Johnny Lee says, stretching allows for greater range of motion and eases the stress on the joints and tendons, which could potentially prevent injury. Now, I've heard that before. And honestly, it makes sense. But there's more. According to the American Heart Association, by slowly raising your heart rate, the warm-up also helps minimize stress on your heart. And that is something that I didn't think about. That just jumping from couch to workout can actually stress your heart. Now, I don't know about you, but my heart is already pretty stressed from being this size and from having too much bad cholesterol. So stressing my heart out more in an effort to help it, not the best idea. The point of a warm-up is to slowly raise your heart rate and your temperature, which is better for your muscles and your heart than just jumping in cold. And the cool down serves a similar function. So again, the American Heart Association says, a cool down keeps the blood flowing throughout the body. Stopping suddenly can cause lightheadedness because your heart rate and blood pressure drop rapidly. So if you've ever finished a hard workout, or if you've ever had to do something strenuous, and then afterwards you thought you were going to faint, that's why you didn't cool down. So, personal trainer Jonathan Ross elaborates to Active that just stopping a workout and then sitting back down, like at work or in your car or wherever, it can cause blood to pool in the extremities, leading to soreness or possibly lightheadedness. So I didn't think about that also, that if you do a heavy workout and then you go sit back down, all your blood is pooling right here and right down here, those places that always feel sore later. And so it's not just all the blood rushing away from your head, it's also where it's pooling. Gee, who knew? Science. So you should also keep in mind that a strenuous workout actually can damage and or inflame muscles, and that's actually part of the rebuilding process. So when you work out, you're tearing your muscles, and then when you eat correct food afterwards and rest, you're rebuilding them. And so if you don't cool down, it's harder for them to get into that rebuilding. And if you don't warm up, the tears can be worse than you want from just muscle building. They can be actually bad tears, not good tears. So, again, both parts are important for the whole thing. We have to fit them in. So, yes. Yeah, I'm afraid, sad but true, you really should warm up and cool down. And if you absolutely cannot do both, then Ross, the personal trainer, recommends skipping the cool down. He says it's less risky in terms of injury to stop exercising than it is to abruptly start exercising. So there you go. The warm-up is the more important. You should do both, but especially the warm-up. So now that we know that, what should you actually do to warm up and or cool down? On to part 2. Again, the Mayo Clinic recommends doing a dynamic warm-up, aka begin by doing the activity and movement patterns of your chosen exercise, but at a low, slow pace that gradually increases in speed and intensity. So, if your workout is to run slowly, or jog or walk fast, and work up to your ideal speed. Same with bicycling or swimming. Start low and cool and work up to the pace you want to be at. If you are doing something with multiple actions, like playing a sport or doing a strength training routine, or, if you're an amazing person who's doing like a biathlon or a triathlon or something where you're working different parts of your body, then you need to do a warm-up that will account for all of that. A general cardio workout, your walking, running, biking, is a good start. But then you can also do exercises more specific to your sport or activity if necessary. So this can include things like lunges, skipping, arm or ankle circles, and similar exercises that target the parts of your body you'll be using. So like if you're swimming, you'll want to do something that like works out these shoulder muscles, right? Or like your legs where you're going to be kicking. If you're going to be doing something like where you're going to be like playing baseball or something, where you're going to be swinging and running or reaching to catch, you want to make sure that all of these joints you're going to be using are nice and limber. So again, think about what motions you'll be doing and stretch whatever that is. So this kind of targeted... Okay. This kind of targeted warm-up can also incorporate stretching. Now, there are 2 kinds of stretching, static and dynamic. And this can get very confusing because it seems like expert opinion on stretching has changed even just since I was a kid. Because I know in PE, what I learned is different than what I'm told now. So static is the kind you probably learned in school. It's what I learned. And that's where you like hold your arms like this for like 30 seconds or 60 seconds, or you do this one, or you do that thing where you like pull your knee up, like pull your heel up behind you to your rear, and you hold your ankle, bend your knee, and you stand in that position for, like I said, a minute or half a minute. That is static stretching. And that's what I at least was taught, and I think most people were taught. And now they're saying, don't do that for this. So according to sports medicine Dr. Douglas W. Stoddard, that kind of stretching is good for something like rehab, where you're like training your muscle to be in that position and then come back. But it's not good for prepping for a workout, they've learned. It can actually do more harm than good, turns out, which is scary because, like, that's what we were taught. So when you're prepping for a workout, you want dynamic stretching. And this is along the same lines as walking before running, right? You're targeting body areas with relevant motion. And it is motion. That's why it's called dynamic instead of static. You're not holding your arm, you're moving your arm. Okay, that's the difference between the two. So, as Dr. Stoddard explains, dynamic stretching reduces the risk of injury as your body isn't stiff to these movements, having been prepped for these unique maneuvers. So for me, also, it means that you find out in advance if you can even do that maneuver. You know, it would be nice to know that you're actually able to do it. So as I talked about on Wednesday, a lot of people have to adapt movements and exercises to suit their bodies and their particular history. So would you rather find out that you have a limited range of motion in your shoulder while you're warming up, or after you've swum halfway across the lake? I'd rather find out during the warm-up. That's all I'm saying. So, the dynamic stretch can offer a kind of test run to make sure that you can actually perform the exercise. And also to help your body get ready to do it. Keep in mind, though, that you want to do your stretches after your warm-up, so your muscles, joints, and heart are all ready for them. You don't want to stretch cold. That's like as bad as doing a static stretch, just cold. You want to do your cardio first to warm yourself, your body, your heart, your stuff up, and then do your stretches, and then do your workout. And a cool down is basically the same as a warm-up. Slow, easy version of the workout to get yourself back into off mode, basically. So it's like going in reverse. So that is why you should actually warm up, cool down, and yes, even stretch. And that is how you should go about doing it for the best way to be safe. Both in terms of safety during your workout and safety during your warm-up and stretching. And of course, afterwards. There's nothing like not warming up or stretching and then doing something and then waking up the next day and you can't move. So, sadly, yes, you need to find time for them. I know you don't want to. And finding that extra time on either side of your workout can be such a pain. But you really should try to fit it in. If nothing else, like I said, start slow and steady. Start with the warm-up. Squeeze that extra 5 minutes in before. Add in the stretches. Squeeze that extra, 7 minutes in before. And then add your cool down, squeeze that extra 5 minutes afterwards. Before you know it, you went from a 20-minute workout to a 32-minute workout, and it wasn't too painful to squeeze that into your schedule. So just add a little bit at a time if you really can't find the time to do the whole thing. Or even just add a minute here and there. Shave a minute off your workout, do a 14 instead of a 15, so you can fit at least a minute of warm-up in first, okay? Again, adapt, fit it in as best you can, and if you need to build up to it, you do what you gotta do. But you really should be doing some kind of warm-up and cool down. Speaking of, that is my 15 minutes. I will do a little lazy cool down here, very slow and steady while I'm finishing. because next week we will be bumping up to a 20-minute workout with a warm-up and a cool down. So be prepared for that. We are going to jump up in time. Okay? This has been Roly Poly Weight Loss. As always, I am your host, Roly Poly, reminding you to adapt your workout to fit your body. Post and share your warm-up or cool-down woes or successes with the hashtag #WarmUpCoolDown. And you see me doing it. I am setting a good example. And please join me next time.